Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Ape Escape Part 19. This time around, we're going to pretty much do what we've always been doing ever since the beginning of this Let's Play. Well, not really since the beginning of this Let's Play, but we've just been going around capturing monkeys, because that's what we do in this game, right? It's Ape Escape. It's not. What else would this be? What else would you do in an Ape Escape game? Collect Spectre coins? So, of course, we're heading back to levels you already cleared before. We have to jump on those complex platforms of ice and rock and snow and stuff like that. We're still in the Ice Age, the good old Ice Age, where temperatures were probably just a little below freezing. So, and you have to jump on things and jump over things and jump through things. Kind of stuff that'd be worthy of being an American Ninja Warrior, American Gladiator, whatever they call that crap. But then you have to jump and dodge that stuff and get hit and fall off things constantly. Like in Donkey Kong, only you don't get killed until you get hit by stuff. Yeah, I always said before, this game really did take a lot of real inspiration from Donkey Kong, I can see that, or a lot of other 80s arcade games. I realized how arcade-oriented Ape Escape was. You're gonna fail a lot at this level. This is one of the more challenging levels in the game. It's definitely the most challenging of like the new Friesland, or whatever you call them, levels in the game. And of course, they reuse that enemy we saw in the prehistoric age that keeps popping its head up to shoot at us or blow stuff at us, stuff like that. They're just running through here pretty much, just doing the obstacle course branch is what this is. This could very well be an attraction at some like birthday world like place or some Chuck E. Cheese place there to become a little more elaborate. We actually have kids running through, make the kids actually feel like idiots by constantly throwing them and kicking them around. It's like that's how you get away with child abuse or stuff like that. Like it's some sort of scandal of that kind. So you pretty much have to jump on stuff again. We're going to this. We already went here earlier. This is the hot spring. It pretty much took us away from this hot spring when we captured all the required monkeys. But there was still one more monkey left in this hot spring, so let's go and capture him then and make sure he doesn't, change history, which I don't really know how you can really change much history in the Ice Age. If he stayed in the Ice Age, I don't think he could have manipulated the Ice Age. One measly little monkey couldn't have changed the course of the Ice Age. Oh sure, maybe the Ice Age franchise wouldn't have been as popular and successful to a point where it constantly has sequels galore, way too many sequels for anyone to ever really count, and they start to go stale over time, which makes a different company want to buy the rights to them. I'm looking at you, Disney or something like that. And so the last monkey is actually in the secret lab, the secret hidden lab that you can find. It's actually quite right at the beginning of the level, actually near where you spawn for the beginning. So let's go into the secret lab where we're going to have to do some secret experiments and stuff like that. And so you see the monkey is hidden behind this metal wiring, this metal cage. He's going to get scared and be like, hey, yeah, the monkeys always do that. And so there's a red mailbox there. I don't even think, it's probably possible to enter this place the first time around, but I don't think it's possible to really do anything in here the first time around. We have to use a magic punch pretty much to get through all this stuff, or at least that's how I did. I think you could manipulate that polar bear into destroying the ice walls, but I think it's much easier. Just simply use the magic punch, because what else are you going to use to get through your, why use anything else when you could use a magic punch? Magic punch is a really overrated weapon. Underrated weapon. Guns are the overrated weapon. If people really knew how great magic punches were, people would be spending all their hard-earned cash on the magic punches. Guns, what were those? Magic punches that everyone wants. You could destroy people with magic punch. You could knock out bad guys easy. Security systems should have them. Police should carry those weapons around at them. It's far more effective and far more useful than any kind of assault rifle ever, right? It's more useful than a semi-automatic or anything like that. And so here's the last monkey. I'm pretty sure this is the last monkey. Look at that. It just stuns them. They fall down easy. Imagine what it would do to people if you use it on people. Riot police should walk around if those ever riots occur. Like that time that chicken place ran out of chicken and they had to call the National Guard to help secure the place and make sure the protesters didn't get into a street or stuff like that, and had to fight off protesters because the place kept running out of chicken. This is why chicken places always have to be stocked up with chicken, because what else would they sell? Fried rats, like that hoax I heard about where that guy found a rat in his KFC chicken, but it wasn't actually a rat at all. It was actually just white meat chicken that happened to look a little bit like a rat, and he refused to acknowledge the truth or admit the truth that, yeah, it was a chicken that looked like a rat. There's all kinds of chicken. There's more chickens in the world than there are of people. It makes sense they would come in various shapes and sizes. You never get chicken somewhere and it always looks different. It's one of the most commonly consumed meats in the world. So now we're into the medieval times, finally, our favorite era in history, probably one of the greatest eras in history, the era that really wrote out how our modern world should play out, the medieval times, because our today's world is very medieval-like if you take into perspective. We still have draconian methods of punishment, well, maybe not as draconian as they had in this time, but still, a lot of our things are still pretty draconian overall. There's that statue, that ancient statue there. There's a monkey hiding in its hand. These monkeys like to sleep in the hands of ancient Buddhist statues and things like that. This is probably in Japan or something like that, feudal Japan maybe, or somewhere like that. Where I think I punched him so he could fall down, so he'd stay down for longer. There's Buddhist statues everywhere. There's like ancient, I don't know, Confucius, Bruce Lee statues of stuff like that. So what else would you find in some ancient Chinese guy's shop or something like that in New York City, where that Chinese guy keeps that mogwai? If you buy it and get water on it or gets wet, it multiplies and becomes more of it or something like that. Then what it multiplies into eats after midnight, and then it metamorphoses into some green, mutant, putrid little creatures that are going to take over the world. They probably originate in a place like this, probably. You know, like all sorts of myths and legends. A lot of them originate in places, you know, like the feudal systems, the ancient feudal systems of like Japan and even Europe and things like that too. It's all sorts of myths. Why do you think there's so many Greek myths? Like the ancient Greeks believed in all kinds of weird myths and things like that for that very reason. So all kinds of Greek gods and mystic gods and stuff like that. I think future Ape Escape games should reflect more on that. Monkeys manipulating mythology. Monkeys are changing the Bible so it says different stuff happened. That'd probably generate too much controversy, but I would like to see something like that. I doubt they'd ever really do that in real life, but it would make for an interesting premise for something. If someone could travel back in time and change the writing of the Bible so it says something different, the timeline, and we would never know, because the timeline we've lived in is always a timeline that's going to have been set when the Bible was changed, so we would have no idea of it, or we would never really know. They could change something. That's why people believe in the Mandela effect. People believe it's possible to change stuff and we would never know, but yet some people are able to notice it, or some people's minds don't always merge well with the new timeline, so people don't always necessarily notice it or things like that. So the sushi temple is mostly clear. Yeah, it's called a sushi temple because it's probably some sort of temple that serves sushi, which is food I was never really fond of. I'm a big fish connoisseur, but I don't really like sushi that much. But I'm a big connoisseur of fish. Just a few days ago, I made the fish double down. It's like that chicken double down, but it's a fish. You take two fish fillets or fillets or whatever you call them, and you put cheese in between them, and you cook them, and then you put cheese in between, and it melts, and it tastes like bliss. It tastes really awesome. It tastes like the kind of food they'd serve in heaven. That's among the foods they serve in heaven, are fish, chips, maybe chicken, like premium, like breaded chicken, maybe. What else could they serve in heaven? Kraft dinner, most likely. Everyone loves Kraft dinner. Spaghetti and meatballs, maybe. Gourmet pizza. I imagine heaven is the greatest thing imaginable. They serve all the greatest foods you could possibly think of. I actually reflected on that in that series I write about called Ivan's War, where he has to go to some universe that's a heavenly pleasure, where people go and they die, and it's like everything you'd ever really want in anything ever. That's exactly how it is. There's a level in Ape Escape 3 that's like that, I think. I did a live stream of Ape Escape 3 last night. It kind of turned out, so-so. It was really good, but my PCSX2 emulator, my PS2 emulator that I use for PC, it constantly crashes on me. It constantly blows up. It crashes and burns on me all the time. I know, it's hard to play a game that constantly crashes on you. I played it for quite a bit yesterday, and it only crashed once, and I played Ape Escape 2 on this emulator a lot too, and it never even crashed at all. But yet Star Wars Battlefront 2 also seems to crash a lot too, the two Star Wars Battlefront games. But yeah, I was still able to do a Let's Play of the original Star Wars Battlefront despite that, so yeah, I guess that's really good. And I still got, at least it's not the worst. But I am still waiting for the day they make a new, better PCS. Maybe there already is a better PCS X2 emulator out there that I don't know about it yet. Maybe there is. I don't know. I don't magically know when new emulators come out. Maybe there is one. I also wonder if there's a MAME 2003 Plus emulator for Windows XP. Not that it would matter, because I don't really use the Windows XP computer much. I barely use that computer at all anymore. It's ironic, because I was just using it this morning to try out my emulator on it. I was trying out EPSXE 1925, going back to the past and trying primitive emulators. They're far more primitive to the ones you can find in LACA, RetroArch, and yeah, they're just that primitive. primitive. It's like the cheaper Mexican equivalent of those emulators you get, like the ones in retro. Kind of like, I want Steven Spielberg, but sir, we can't find Steven Spielberg. Then give me his Mexican counterparts then, or something like that. That's kind of what this is like. So you see, there's still gold triangles everywhere, because gold triangles always respawn when you re-enter the level, and yeah, there's just gold triangles to collect, because why? Because we should collect all of them, because we kind of need some more lives. I already have 30 of them, which may not be enough for the final boss. See, there's like a prison thing right there. It's like one of those binocular things. You can put a quarter into them and it shows you stuff for like 30 seconds or something like that. And it's always stuff that's fabricated by the binoculars themselves. It makes you think you're seeing something that's not actually there. No wonder why so many people, claim to see things that aren't really there. They think things aren't really there. Might even be a way for tourism. I wonder what Spectre would have done if he was successful in this whole venture he plans on doing after he succeeds. Is he going to turn all these prehistoric eras or these previous points in history? Is he going to turn them into tourist attractions for people? Is time travel going to become a touristy thing or something like that? Traveling back in time to some primitive period in history? That actually would make a pretty interesting tourist attraction. Or maybe it could be something that could have at a future Chuck E. Cheese-like place. They ever make Chuck E. Cheese-like venues again in the future. But then again, arcades aren't really a very profitable business in this day and age, as I already mentioned earlier, so I doubt that would ever be the case. But virtual reality is becoming, like a thing people use a lot now, virtual reality. I'm not really interested in virtual reality. I think there should be a fine line between what we do in gaming and what we do in the real world. Help separate the two of them, I think. It's good to have a fine line between those two things. Good to. Some things, should always be kept separately. Some people think movies and video games are two things that should always be kept separately, considering the fact that a lot of movie-based games are known to suck. But yeah, there are a lot of games based on movies that are pretty awesome. All the Star Wars games are pretty awesome. I'm not sure if you count all of them necessarily as games based on movies, because most of them are not even directly based on movies, but I get what they kind of mean by that. So they're using the RC car yet again. It's our favorite RC car. I think it's the first time we came back. We were going to this level where we had the RC car. I don't think we had the RC car the first time around we went here. Yeah, we didn't get that until that, the City Park level. I think it was what gave us the RC car. And some of those dark blue pants monkeys that are known for being really fast. There, so we captured that monkey. I believe I think there's at least one more monkey left. He's still, we have to get to the very top of that tower thing we saw him at earlier. Where I think it's that monkey that can climb like Spider-Man. He has like spider powers or something like that. And he can climb up walls and things like that, just like frickin' Spider-Man. I played some Spider-Man game on the Sega Dreamcast. It's like the port of the one that was on the PS1. The controls are a little bit more complex because the PS1 controller has more buttons than the Dreamcast controller. And it's ironic since I was playing it with a PS1 controller on my Raspberry Pi, so I've been using my Raspberry Pi for a lot of things lately. The only things I don't really use it for much are emulating games that can't be emulated with the Raspberry Pi, like PS2 and GameCube games. I also played F-Zero GX for the first time the other day too. It's a pretty good game. I only got to play it thanks to the Dolphin emulator, the Dolphin X64 emulator, because there would be no other way for me to play F-Zero GX otherwise. It's way too damn expensive, and I don't think it's worth giving up my life savings just for a GameCube game. So I'm probably gonna play for a few months at most, and then just keep it on my shelf and have it collect dust. I got better things to do with my money these days. That's why I keep saying emulation is the way of the future of gaming, right? So that monkey is going to be climbing up that wall like Spider-Man, so we have to get to the top of where that wall would be so we could go and stop that monkey from, changing history, altering history for the worst, right? So just gonna run up this loop-de-loop spiral and dodging those rolling pin things that can flatten us easy, like in a Warner Brothers cartoon. And then we get to the top right here, and then oh yeah, there's a one up there. Look at that. We have 31 lives now. That's more lives than I don't know. So now there's the last monkey. I think we have to jump off this. Look, it's giving us arrows, telling us where to go. I think the monkey's hiding up here. So there he is. Just give him a punch with a magic punch, the best weapon imaginable, and then there, we caught all the monkeys in this level. So yeah, we pretty much cleared out everything. We're really cleaning out this game really good. So yeah, we clear all the monkeys in those levels, and this is Ray Phoenix signing out.